But he's a policy analyst for Show Me Institute. And did you take MetroLink here?
That's right.
How'd it go?
It went pretty well.
Good. So last week, we got everybody chiming in. Tony Messenger chimed in on the North-South MetroLink. We had Steve Stanger chime in. He wasn't happy all about it. Joe Miller from the Show Me Institute, what are your thoughts on this North-South MetroLink expansion controversy?
Well, I do think that the MetroLink itself, the expansion plan, is likely a waste of money at about $2 billion to get you 17 miles.
Right.
But I think with this recent fight with Stanger and Slay, to me, it's a fascinating thing, because you've got people saying that, the county's not on board, Stanger's not on board. You got to get on board because everybody's in agreement but you. And how can you be sort of standing in the way of all of this progress? And to me, it kind of sounds like, if like the Cleveland Cavaliers had a team meeting, it was just like, everybody here is on board but LeBron James, except for LeBron James. So we just need, he should get out of the way, get on board, and then we'll all do it. I mean, frankly, St. Louis County is by far the most important player here financially. And this whole project is a complete non-starter without the county's buy-in. So the idea that you could even go forward with a grant to the federal government without getting the largest financial backer that the system is going to have on board, to me, is crazy.
Yes. How much of it do you think is Steve Stanger not happy that the ring wasn't kissed by the other players in this story?
It very well might be. It also could be that, they've been trying to study MetroLink expansion in the county for a while, and maybe he just wanted at least a hearing for the lines that he was going to have. But also, I mean, like, if you just put egos aside and you say, okay, if you try to fund this North-South MetroLink, if the city tried to go it alone, you're talking a 2 to 3 cent sales tax increase, something that even if the legislature allowed it, it probably wouldn't pass, because in the Central West End, to have your sales taxes go up to like 13%. I mean, at some point it gets crazy and people won't vote for it. You need the county to come in here so at least you can get that number below 1%.
Right.
And very little of the proposed MetroLink line is going to go into the county. It basically is a route that's going to basically be a hub and spoke system from the south side of the city, through downtown to the north side of the city. And the county really isn't going to get very much out of it, but they're going to be expected to pay at a ratio of about 4 to 1. So if you raise the sales tax the same amount in the city and the county county sales taxes are 4 times as great as the cities in terms of revenue.
Right.
So they're paying and they're not getting. And you can argue regionalism all you want, but if all regionalism means to people like Tony Messenger and Mayor Slay is that St. Louis County and St. Charles County and St. Clair County pay for expensive projects in St. Louis City, then what do you expect them to do? What do you expect the politicians to say?
It's okay. But regionalism being what it is, they had Southern Illinois bend over backwards to try and steal the mapping agency from the city of St. Louis.
Well, in that situation, it's funny to me that, especially bringing up counties like Madison and St. Clair County, we just spent, I'm pretty sure Mayor Slay and the state of, and at least the Missouri side, and also the Post-Dispatch, spent the last few months pretending that Shiloh Scott Air Force Base was in Texas or something like that, and that we need to fight tooth and nail, otherwise we're going to lose all these jobs. And St. Clair County was, where was the regionalism then? I mean, this is one of those things where you can't just say we want regionalism when if all it means to you is, hey, we want better stuff downtown, we want you to spend more money to make downtown nicer, and the way we want to do that is have people and outlying counties pay for it. If that's all it means, then all that people in St. Charles County and St. Clair County are going to hear when regionalism rears its head is, oh crap, I'm going to have to pay for something that I might not necessarily want or use.
While I agree with a lot of that, and we can argue forever about that, let's throw all that aside for a second. Let's just talk about the actual north-south link in and of itself. North City is economically depressed. Lots of people don't have cars to get to a job. They need mass transit. Here's a great way to get people in and out of North City to get them to and from jobs, which would be, is it not economically beneficial to those people and ultimately be better for the region if we can try and instill some type of economic development or some way for those people to get to their jobs in North City?
All right, so there's two things here. One is what kind of transportation benefit would a north-south MetroLink bring? And two, what kind of development goals might you have from this? And first off, let's point out that where the north-south MetroLink is going is already some of the best served routes in the country, or not country, but in the region for Metro. There's a lot of bus routes that go there, so it's not like these areas are disconnected. The only thing that the MetroLink is really going to give you is faster speeds to those areas. But if you really all you wanted to achieve was faster speeds, running bus rapid transit on some of these arterial routes would be a breeze. I mean, we've already seen them take lanes for bike lanes that nobody uses. I mean, you could actually just transfer those to a bus rapid transit lane, and then you get the speed you want, so that's transportation benefit. Secondly, this whole idea that it's going to drive development is really not borne out by the evidence. I mean, a good review of the literature says that basically the problem with economically depressed regions, unless that issue is transit access, building more transit is not going to make that area better. It's going to be some other ancillary problem solving that the city would have to do. So maybe in North City, it's probably crime. It's probably things to do with education. It probably doesn't have a whole lot to do with transit access, which they have a lot of. And they have a lot of going downtown. So, I don't really see how this is the smart way to go at a cost of $2 billion.
One of the arguments Stanger makes is, hey, let's do research on a Brentwood, Clayton, Westport line, which I would love, but I don't really need it. I have a car. I have plenty of gas money. I don't really need it. How much of an economic engine would a light rail system or a MetroLink go with some of the places he's talking about versus this north-south line?
I think that the issue you're going to have with all of MetroLink proposals within the St. Louis region is that workplaces and population is so dispersed. The population densities are so low that any line you choose is going to be questionable in terms of its cost-benefit ratio. You could definitely do better with bus rapid transit. So what speaks well for a line going west is the fact that there's a whole lot of employment out there, and there's pretty bad transit access right now. It's not like the routes between North County or South City into downtown, which are relatively well served. There's actually very little way to get out there. So you could make that argument, right? But then you would also have the counter argument that, hey, low population density, most people own a car, people might not ride it. But in the end, you've got this problem that no matter where you try to build this very, very expensive form of transportation, it's not making sense. And it's not making sense because St. Louis's layout doesn't need a hub and spoke light rail system.
We're not going to be Washington, D.C.
build.
We're not going to be New York. We're not going to be Chicago.
The city looks a certain way, and wishing that it looked a different way or acted a different way is not going to change things. And wasting billions of dollars is just going to put us in a deeper hole.
And this from a guy who loves mass transit. You take MetroLink all the time.
Nothing would benefit. Well, I'm someone who would benefit a lot from light rail expansion and transit expansion and better transit. But I think that the way that people envision this city and the way that people want it to work is simply, it's more about wanting it to be a different way than serving the needs of people who actually live here.
Joe Miller, what about the mass transit in, say, San Francisco, that Bay Area rapid transit? Is that any better?
I have never ridden Bay Area Rapid Transit, but who knows? I might get the chance.
It sounds like you will be getting the chance. Breaking news here on the Big 550 KTRS. This is your last segment with us.
This is my last segment, yeah.
You are leaving us and moving to San Francisco?
We're actually going to move to Oakland.
Oh, the up-and-coming Oakland.
The up-and-coming Oakland.
And what will you be doing in Oakland?
Well, I won't be working in Oakland.
Nice.
But I will be commuting to a different job. But I'll be an auditor out there, and
Can you tell us the name of the company?
The state of California.
Oh, you're gonna be an auditor for the state of California. Yeah. They need an auditor because aren't they in like billions of dollars in debt?
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to be cooking the books for the state of California. Joe Miller, policy analyst with the Show Me Institute. You and your wife, are you from St. Louis originally?
No, from Chicago.
Chicago. Well, we won't hold that against you. Joe Miller, it was always a pleasure. We always fun sparring with you. You're always welcome back here. Good luck in the future.
Well, thanks for having me.
You got it. 844 here, Big 550 KTRS.